is needed tonight, especially since we do not have Senator Fetterman. We can get any number of good, pertinent information, any questions, asked this evening. And we will be sharing the live stream tape with Fetterman's team. We know that an hour and a half is not a terribly long amount of time. But we also didn't want to put an undue burden on anybody's time. So we'd like you to leave when you have to, and we will be staying until 8:30. So our MC for this evening is going to be Barb, and we thank you all for coming. But to start the dialogue off tonight, I'd like to read a partial quote from Leah Greenberg. She is the co-founder and co-executive director of Indivisible. This is a quote from November 2022. Quote, John Fetterman's victory is not only a rejection of MAGA extremism in Pennsylvania, it is a full-blown embrace of Fetterman's progressive People First campaign.
Could you repeat the statement? Hey,
my friend's on the live stream. He says it's really boomy and he can't understand anything she's saying.
Okay. Yeah, I'll try.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just.
But it's a little bit difficult because it's just picking up the ambient stuff.
I just thought I would try because he's trying to watch.
Oh yeah, I appreciate it.
John Fetterman's victory is not only a rejection of MAGA extremism in Pennsylvania, it is a full-blown embrace of Fetterman's progressive People First campaign.
Well, let's see it then, shall we?
That didn't happen.
Let's see it, Fetterman. Thank you, Rachel. Hi, everyone. As Rachel said, we're going to be sending the link to the live stream that is on YouTube, Indivisible's TRB meeting. Slower. I'm forgetting that she's trying to sign as fast as I'm talking. Okay. So we're going to be sending this to Fetterman. So filming has already started. The main filming is just up here, but if you don't want to be filmed, we ask you to leave the room. We're not getting permission slips or anything. If you're here, you're okay with being filmed. So housekeeping, there's a handicapped restroom on this floor. It's right out there to the left. Everybody else, there are restrooms upstairs. You can't hear me?
It's not turned on, I don't know.
It's turned on.
No, now it is.
Oh my goodness gracious. And all this equipment was purchased brand new. It's just not working. Okay. So we got name tags. If you don't have a name tag on, maybe get one a little bit later. We are privileged to have our ASL translation this evening. So please speak slowly and clearly. The format is going to be 3 minutes to ask your question. We will then move to the next person in line, or I will read questions that are sent in. So I'd like to begin by thanking Rachel. She talked Thea, raise your hand, Thea. She talked Thea and I into doing this 11 days ago. So not only are we volunteers that have never put together something like this, please, we are volunteers who never before to the Wilkins School Community Center for bending over backwards to provide this room. We are collecting donations for them, so please, on the way out, cash or check, whatever. There's a donation basket in the back. Okay, welcome everybody to the Senator Fetterman empty chair town hall. So, as Rachel said earlier, we did invite him, and I finally got a response from Unfortunately, due to the overwhelming demand for the senator's time, our team has determined that it is not possible for him to meet with you in your group at this time. Please understand that this is not a reflection of the importance of your concerns, but rather the reality of the Senate schedule. I hope you all will remember this statement a little bit later when we do this. Yes.
He has Fox News, right? He's got a Fox News appointment. I'm sure he's got some interviews.
Yeah. Okay. So, I am going to dig in with the first question. Okay. So, Senator Fetterman, what are you doing to ensure that the president is not dismantling the Constitution and democracy? You guys hear something else?
Well, you know what? I'll bet if you dropped that mic and you came to the edge of the stage and you used your passion, we would hear you so much better. What do you think?
Okay, Megan, do you want to say your question?
Yeah, I do.
Hi, everybody hear me? Senator Fetterman, Chair. While I appreciate your level-headed approach to some issues previously, I do not see the level of concern and urgency in your remarks and votes that I believe are necessary in this time. If shutting down duly designated agencies, imprisoning legal residents without charges, deporting people without hearings, and using physical force to enter private agencies isn't enough to sound the authoritarian alarm bells, what moves by the current administration would actually be a red line for you? What about the behavior of the administration and your GOP colleagues in the legislature gives you the impression that anyone is operating in good faith and willing to have any meaningful negotiations? And last, how do you think an attempted authoritarian takeover of the federal government would differ from what is currently happening?
Is there John here that has submitted questions? John?
You can read them.
Okay, I will read it, and then we'll take one that was written tonight, okay, Rachel? Okay, all right. So, John says, how do you justify your vote to approve a budget that will result in slashing programs that benefit poor and middle class Americans in order to fund tax cuts for billionaires? Given the significant power being wielded by Elon Musk, would you agree that his actions and the authority granted to Doggy are a violation of the Appointments Clause of the Constitution? How do you justify voting to confirm Pam Bondi as Attorney General, given her
had on the campaign trail.
Yeah.
I was there behind you. You may not have seen me, but I donated for you. I knocked on doors
Yes.
for you. I got involved because of you. I got involved with my local Democrats. I got involved. I went out every Friday knocking on doors for you because I felt that you had the conviction to do what was right. Because you tattooed all of those dates on your arms.
That's right.
But now my question is, how many more? We know that this campaign of violence and this campaign of cruelty and terror that's being waged not only against our foreign allies, but against our own American people.
Yes, yes.
People like me and my husband, who are both trans and know that we will be
Senator Fetterman, I don't know if you can see this crowd right now, but there are 100+ people in this room. So,
I got a few questions for Fetterman, but rather than asking them, because I've pretty much screamed at his office for fucking years now, with no appropriate response, I'd actually rather address the room, because the fact is, this man is an absent leader. He does fucking nothing for us. He says, I do a USDA bill. I care about farmers. No, you care about your own popcorn. You care about your own things. You care about your own interests, and you've never cared about us. And one thing I want to make clear is he is a Nepo baby. The reason he is being the way he is because that was how he was raised.
That's right.
He was raised to be this person.
Yes.
We should not be surprised. We can be disappointed, we can be angry, and we can demand change. But there is nothing in his DNA, nothing in his nature, and nothing in his experience that would ever fucking help us. Because that is not who he is, and that is not what he cares about. And so we need to just stop. This is effective. Because he should be here. He should be here right now and facing our questions. He's a coward.
Yes, he is.
He doesn't know how to hold a fucking line. This is a union state, you dumbass. And if he's unable to do so, we should do everything we can to undermine him. Because he's not a leader. He is a coward. He is not in charge. He is being bought and sold right now.
Yes,
he has a pager from Netanyahu. Explain to me, when did Netanyahu vote for him? Is Israel allowed to vote in Israeli politics? I didn't think so. So really, I don't understand what his point is, but we will not be electing him twice. I would rather anyone but him, because at least the Republican will lie to me about lying to me. And I know that. And I fucking know that. But this is not Israel, this is Pittsburgh. And if he is not going to do what we need him to do, it is our job to force him to change.
That's right.
We invited the press, we invited the media, we invited all kinds of folks here. And it looks like nobody else showed up. Why? Because everybody is ignoring everything and acting like it's business as usual.
It's not.
It's not business as usual. And just to piggyback on what was just being said, I want to know when the will of your voters and constituents, which is why you were voted
Yes.
in, which is what our representatives are supposed to do, when and why did that change to your own agenda?
Good question.
I can't tell you how proud I am to see Pennsylvanians come out in such numbers. I'm a lawyer. I practice in front of various courts in the states, and I know a few things about constitutional And it is disgusting to me, taught in the constitutional law, to watch this kind of bad behavior, and you do nothing, and we are paying for you. You heard other people here supported you, and you have done nothing. Did you go to the streets? Did you go on the internet? Did you go to the news media? Did you corral your fellow Democratic senators and march down the street in solidarity? What have you done? Let's make a list. I don't see anything on the list.
I don't either.
Did you stand up for Al Green?
So in the end, I see a big zero sitting there, a 6'7" zero.
Yeah.
So, as far as I'm concerned, you're not getting any more votes from me. I'm done with you. Goodbye. You're dead.
Like those people, I have a bunch of things to say. Can I speak loud enough? Okay, can you hear me in the back? It feels weird to like speak to an empty chair. So I'm going to speak as though he's actually here. You know, listening to everybody, I'm 65 years old. I was a kid in the 60s. I was so enamored of the people in our country in the 60s who were fighting for civil rights. And I've been so proud of my country all of my life until Trump happened. And I've been forced into activism. Which maybe I shouldn't have been doing, but I'm forced into it because it is so frightening that the country that I love so deeply has been overtaken by people who claim they love this country but are in fact Hitler. And everything that this country is not about, the current leadership is pretending that they are American. So, Fetterman, question for you. Your job is to represent us. That is why we brought you here. Your job is not to bend and fold to whoever scares you or tempts you with something that is maybe personally of benefit to you, or you perceive it that way. I do not understand you as a human. I truly don't understand you. So my question is, do you understand that everything that Trump and Musk, etc., are doing is taking away your power as a senator? Everything that they're doing is killing the role of a senator and making it completely irrelevant. You, every single day, are losing your relevance to everybody. So if you're not going to speak for us, think about yourself. If that's your motivation, then you are becoming absolutely irrelevant and meaningless, and who cares about anything you're doing? And the last thing I have to say to you is, if you view yourself as a good person, which so many people do even though it's incomprehensible to a lot of people, if you view yourself as a good person, I ask you to take a really good look at what you're doing. And if you are not up to the current situation, which demands a fighter, it demands an organizer, it demands a vocal, loud, standing up and shouting leader. If you're not up to that, there's no shame in stepping back and making way for someone who can do that.
Okay, so we've got right now another 60 people watching. Okay.
I'm going to address this to Mr. Fetterman, wherever you are. We sent you to Washington because we thought you were a fighter. You told us you were a fighter. You told us that you saw us, that you care about us, that you knew the things that ordinary Pennsylvanians need and rely on and care about in their day-to-day lives. And instead, you are standing back as the government is remade in Elon Musk's image to benefit billionaires and no one else, to actively take money out of our pockets and give it to people who have more than they will ever need. You are standing back and doing nothing. You are giving away our power. Your power is our power. And there's nothing that they can take away from us unless you let them. Our power is being flushed down the toilet of this administration. And what I want to know is what Mr. Fetterman thinks is going to happen when he comes back up for re-election. Because we do not forgive you and we will not forget.
Because I supported Connor Leah. And the person if I recall, either Council Shannon or on Lebanon, where Robert Dad said, we need someone who is more, these are some of my words, aggressive or assertive.
Yes, sir.
And that's why they supported this man. Now, after hearing in my own experience, as that man died, wonder what that person from Castle Shannon would say now, because he seems to be gone into the netherworld. Secondly, so then I was canvassing for Krista Lucio and you, Senator Fetterman, in the North Hills of Pittsburgh. And I bought 2 of your shirts. One of them with your younger picture on it. Okay? Well, when I went to your office recently, I told your 2 men there that I will never wear those shirts again.
Yeah.
And in case anybody's interested, I have the forms from that office. You can fill one out and leave it and take it or mail it to the office, either in the federal building or wherever else you want to go. So, I just like this other speaker said, I can't wear those shirts again. There's like a big failure and a big emptiness that's there. So my question was, number one, well, what I wrote on there when I handed it was, who paid for your Troops of Mar-a-Lago? I don't think I've ever heard the answer to that. My second question was this, is alluded to by some previous speaker. The Israeli invasion that happened, the horror that happened on October 7th, they wanted to have an investigation led by a Supreme Court justice in Israel. And I want to know, because he has such connection in Israel, is he going to support that and make certain that that investigation to find out the whole truth, just like we found out about what happened maybe September 11th or what happened January 6th? Netanyahu needs to face the whole truth, and there needs to be a thorough investigation led by a Supreme Court justice from Israel. And I want to know, Senator Fetterman, if you're the influence you have in Israel, will you support that? And finally, I said to the 2 men there in the office, if you came dressed here in this federal building the way he comes dressed in a federal building, I don't know if he'd get in here. But they let them work. And maybe in the next kind of rally, all of us will wear hoodies.
Show us your shirt. Tell us about your shirt, sir.
Several years ago, I was visiting friends in Cambridge, England, and they told me there was a t-shirt shop where you could create your own t-shirt. Cambridge, England. So I went there, picked the font and the color, and wore it 4 or so years ago. Now it's back in style.
I'm going to read this one from Sandy. So, she says, a lot, but here we go. So, is it likely that proposed changes to Social Security will significantly harm individuals in the Commonwealth, especially those residing in rural areas? Why aren't you actively educating your constituents about this?
Can everyone hear me? Yes. Hey, John, how you doing? Sorry to miss you. I really look
Need to
forward.
be louder, gotta be louder.
Sorry to miss John. He was unable to be here tonight, as you all know. Imagine my surprise, though, that over my phone I got an invitation to attend a event with John on March 29th here in Pittsburgh. A conversation with Senator David McCormick. And John Fetterman, along with their wives. The invitation says, join us for an inspiring event with Dina Powell McCormick and Senator David McCormick as they discuss their new book, Who Believed in You? Powerful exploration of the life-changing impact of mentorship. The McCormicks will be in conversation with Senator John Fetterman and his wife, Giselle. Well, how cool is that? When I thought, well, gosh, he never returns my calls when I call him or text me back. Maybe I'll go to this event and see both of my senators. The problem was, there was a ticket to this event, and they're charging you $32 to get in. So, John, the optics of this couldn't be any worse. You can't be here for us to talk about the issues, but you can help McCormick sell his book. So my question is, where does that $32 go to? One other thing I wanted to tell John is that I'm a retired geriatric music therapist. And what that meant was I would go into facilities and do music therapy with the residents in some of the senior facilities in northern Pittsburgh, as well as doing one-on-one music therapy in homes and also in facilities. I also work with groups of adults. And let me tell you, John, seniors are
There is also a rally going on, just go on the Mobilize site. They are going to rally outside of where they're going to be. All four of them, performers and governments are going to be. They are asking for people to please write up questions in a letter, and they are going to collect all the questions, okay? And then hand them into them. So I wanted to let you know about that. Yeah, go ahead.
Somebody else had a question too, but it was interesting, when we first came in, there was a woman over here that had heard from City Winery on Smallman that's supposed to be hosting that.
Yes.
And she's got news for us, because we don't know if it's been canceled. Let's show up anyway and raise some hell! I'm sorry to put you on the spot.
So I posted this on Reddit.
I posted the event on Reddit. I posted this event on Reddit.
You guys get pictures of the audience. Can we get the audience in on some of this footage so he can see how many of us are here?
And it said, this event was canceled, by the way. If you do come to City Winery, local musician Tony Campbell is hosting a brunch show. And I
She
thought,
works with Pittsburgh filmmakers. She
I
thought she
looked
works
at
with
it,
Pittsburgh
right,
filmmakers.
and
She
it's
thought it would be
still
great to
on
have
Eventbrite.
some.
So I
Whatever you want to do.
said,
Sure.
is it still, it's still available on Eventbrite? Do you have some info that it was canceled? And she says, I do, I work there. My managers have been trying to get them to take it down. Not sure why it's still up on Eventbrite. I'm the one who brought that to their attention, that it's 100% not happening. Also, fuck Fetterman. But if people show up to a protest, a jazz brunch, it's gonna seem silly, so please spread the word. So that's one interaction. I'm just saying that maybe we should double check to make sure it's still happening, or maybe put the effort someplace else.
That's right. Thank you.
Show up with them.
I'm a transplant. I'm from the South, raised. And I got the hell out of there fast. Sorry. I'm a transplant, Pennsylvania. Okay. I'm a transplant, Pennsylvania, from the South. I got the hell out of the South as soon as I could, because we all know what's going on in the South. But I moved here in 2022. I put his name in my yard because I've never really been political, but I knew I needed to because of the people that I have in my family, my loved ones. My husband's a retired veteran. I have to watch out for him. I have children who have IPs, who are on the spectrum, who are part of the peer community. I have to protect them. I have a grandson who is blind. I have to protect him. And right now, Mama Bear and Grandma Bear is coming out and ready to attack. So to Mr. Fetterman, I would really like to ask him, who the hell does he think is going to vote for him when he's running on a Democratic ticket? Because the Republican people don't want you. So you really need to be looking at who your voters are and start doing your job. Because guess what? Politicians are a dime a dozen. We can get rid of him and put up who we want.
Yes!
And that's what I want.
Okay, so this one is from Sandy. Senator Fetterman, what has to happen before you publicly decry what is going on with Trump, the muskrat, in the
Yes, indeed.
foggy or
Sorry. Sorry about that. What do you plan to do to stop changes to Social Security made or to be made by Doggy and Trump? I have a 54-year-old sister in a long-term care facility. If Medicaid is cut, what do I do? I'm her guardian. In cutting wasted fraud, why aren't they cutting subsidies for the rich?
Can you hear me? No. Can you hear me now? Yeah. Okay. May I call you John? Hell yeah! This is Pittsburgh, and usually people of your sort we call jack-offs. I want to know how you can look in the mirror every day when you voted for a bill that cuts $880 billion from Medicaid. $880 billion, leaving this much to support our elderly, our injured, our people that cannot take care of themselves, but have paid into their country all of their lives, and now they get zero. How about for veterans? Oh yes, this is Trump. We love our veterans. Suckers don't give a shit about the veterans. Social Security. They have stripped the phone lines to Social Security. The people can't even call. Now, you have to find an office that may or may not be open. What in God's name is happening here? Answer these good people that came out tonight. You didn't even have the guts to show up. So you can take 6'7" South, get the hell out of Pennsylvania. You and McCormick can move to Connecticut. That's all I have to say to you, sir. Anybody else come up?
Well, I'm sorry, I just got a lot to say, but I'd like to bring that chair down here and kick it. I don't know about you. I don't need that, darling. I thank you, though. Hey, folks, the revolution will not be on television. It will not be televised. It will be us. In the streets. How many of you can support these things? We the people, of the people, by the people, for the people. How many?
Right here.
How many of you believe in our spirited Constitution that says liberty and justice for all? We are all one, and we must fight for each and every one of us, particularly the vulnerable at this time. That's right. Because stand up! Stand up! Fight! Beat your friends! Challenge people! It's not time to sit and watch your television. Get the fuck out on the road!
just heard about this like 10 minutes ago. And mostly what I want to say is not to Fetterman, because I don't think Fetterman's going to do anything. So I don't have anything to say to him. But I do have something to say to you, and I guess to him as well, which is, you know, these people, these billionaires, oligarchs who are coming in and essentially buying our government. The only thing I have to say to them is they're not going to get a dime from me. They're not going to get a fucking dime. So, that's it. That's what I have to say. Not a vote, not a dime, nothing.
I have jack shit to say to him too, so I'm just gonna turn my back on the empty chair.
Oh, yeah.
Because I don't think we're gonna get anything out of him. Can you hear me? Normally my voice is kind of like, but for some reason today I can't seem to speak. I'm going to implore you guys to do just a couple of things, and it means getting involved, which we all say we want to be involved. Is there anybody here from Duquesne, West Homestead, or McKeesport right now?
I have friends who live there, I do not. But
All right.
my best friend's election.
There is a special election taking place for District 35. And right now, because Matt Gertley, who was the Democratic representative, passed away, that seat is open. So we have a 50-50 House of Representatives in the state of Pennsylvania. The Republicans have the Senate, and we have a Democratic governor. Well, guess what happens if the House becomes Republican? We're probably going to lose our ability to vote, which I think we really, really need to retain. So if you know people over there, if you want to go and canvass, they're canvassing this weekend. It's you can look up on Mobilize Us and find the canvassing. And I've been doing this the last couple of weekends. It's not that difficult. A lot of people are really pissed. Yeah. The second thing I want to say, I don't think this is up to any particular leader that's out there. This is up to us. Can't be counted out. Clearly, I don't even think Schumer can be counted out. And as much as we're having lawsuits take place in the courts, I'm not certain we can count on that either. And it's not because the judges aren't doing the best they can, and the lawyers on our side aren't doing the best they can. There's a lot of pressure on those singular judges from the GOP.
Nothing's normal.
People are, nothing is normal, and this is mafia crap. Those judges, their lives, their families, their homes, they're being threatened. So I don't think we can sit back and count on that. Hey, I'd love it if that all works, but I don't think we can count on that.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Next thing, the places where you can get involved that I can think of off the top of my head, and there's a ton. Indivisible, excellent. They have a playbook, they have been working on this, they took the Tea Party's playbook that put the Republicans in charge, and they reversed it. So whatever you can do to follow them, that's great. Heather Cox Richardson is a historian. Red, Line, and Blue is another group. They are looking at education and protecting education and libraries. That's their big focus area. So if you think that on Red, Line, and Blue. Robert Reich. I am highly impressed with this guy. And occasionally he has something that actually sounds hopeful. As dire as things are. Midas on Substack. These guys are great, and they're rivaling the likes of the social media of the GOP and MAGA that's out there. So if you can follow Midas,
they have some really good stuff to say. Mobilize Us is the place to go to look for things to ways to get involved. Protests, canvases, Zooms. One of my favorite Zooms I'm missing tonight because it's every Friday night at 6 p.m. our time. Can you hear it? All right. It's called the Unhappy Happy Hour. The other things that you do, 5 calls, of course, the Democratic Governors, Association of Governors, Attorneys General, Secretaries of State, and the National Democratic Redistricting Committee. Those are all going to be groups that are fighting in the courts already for us. So we need to support them, even if it's a tiny amount. We need to support them. The last thing I want to say is, since I am involved in healthcare, when Medicaid and Medicare go away, and the hospitals don't get paid, this has happened over the last 20 years. When the hospitals are not getting paid, what happens? They close. And the places where this is going to happen first are going to be Kentucky and all the rural states. And people are going to have to drive 4 and 5 hours just to get to a hospital. They are fucking this country up. Thank you, Mr.
Hey everybody, it is 8 o'clock. Straight up 8 o'clock. So, is there anybody else that has a burning something to say? I'll give you a couple minutes. All right, so if your card wasn't read, okay, yeah, come on, I'll let you. But I'm just going to say that if your card and questions weren't read, we will send everything to the Senator also.
I just want to follow up on the speaker that just left. It's not just making Medicare go away or Medicaid going away. If they reduce it, if you have grandma, your mama, or anybody else in a nursing home, they will get put out.
That's right.
Where are you going to take grandma when the money is no longer available to keep her in? Are you going to bring her in your house or bring him in your house? What are you going to do? Folks, I don't think you understand this. And the same thing with Medicare. It doesn't have to go away completely. Social Security, if you're only getting $2,000 a month from Social Security, any cut is going to make a difference. How are you going to pay your rent? How are you going to buy your food? How are you going to pay for your medicine? Everything's he's already told us who he is. Believe it. When they act and they say who they are, believe it. So it sounds like he's in for a career change as soon as possible.
We got one more coming up.
Indivisible is nonpartisan, so everybody's opinions are their own.
Thank you. First of all, those are some great ideas. One of the things I have done is, for instance, yesterday at the bank, the woman said to me, "Is there anything else I can do for you?" And I said, "Are you registered to vote?" So, and then if I have a waiter who has a little more time, like the young man that sat next to me at Carnegie Mellon, "Are you registered to vote?" He's from Virginia Beach, but he voted here in Pittsburgh. Secondly, if there's more time and they seem interested, what issues are of most importance to you? So that when you're engaged at the bank or somewhere, is there anything else that you do? Any other questions? Are you registered to vote? I wanted to add, and I understand some of the powerful energy about issues right here in Pennsylvania that are just so important and grab us, hurt. I want to add concern, something that's often ignored, the settlers in Israel. Those settlers get support, and I'd like to ask Senator Fetterman if he cares about the lives of Palestinians. About one side. And I'd like to know, Senator, do you care about the lives of what's happening to Palestinian people? And what happens to settlers when the violence is used by settlers on people who are rightfully living where they are? So I just add that, and again, I understand that we have personal issues that are highly important and significant in voting. If he has influence in Israel with Netanyahu, to be able to bring up the question with Marco Rubio, with our whole, because we are part of the international world, we are part of the bigger world. What's happening with settlers? Why are they being able to murder or harass or use violence on people who are rightfully there?
Ukraine!
Okay, so again,